on the issues of the rule of law, perhaps from the issue or the point of view of Omoyele Sowore and the reasons why he's still in DSS custody. Take a look at what the DSS says in reactions to clamor that he was not released. The DSS is saying that he's still in custody because of alleged failure of Sowore's lawyers to receive accused persons on Friday. Don't forget that Bakari and Omoyele Sowore, both of them have gotten bail. The National Human Rights Commission is not happy with what is happening, and these are some of the reasons why the NHRC is not happy. Mr. Ojukwu, who is the executive secretary of the NHRC, has come out to give some of their grievances over what is happening in the country. They're saying that some of these things, the security agencies need to respect the rule of law to restore confidence of people in government and the judiciary. The alleged refusal or delay in verifying bail conditions. They also pointed out alleged punishment of suspect unduly for reasons that are not constitutional, and also they're saying that if they do not respect the rule of law, they will allow some Nigerians to go into self-help. Let's get back into the conversation with my partner tonight. Mr. Oban, let me begin with you. The Sowore matter, what do you think from the security, from the DSS point of view? What do you think is happening?
Nobody should be happy with what is actually playing out. The position of the law is that the judge has actually granted bail and gave conditions and terms. And those terms and conditions have been fulfilled, meaning that the conditions that the judge gave out, to grant bail to Sowore and his partner has actually been fulfilled, because that's why she signed the release warrant that's supposed to now be served on DSS so that they can release the accused persons that are in their custody. So they have no reason whatsoever to begin to lay any other condition or terms different from what the court has done, because the court has actually, done all it's supposed to. Because it's no longer they are the one now granting bail. It is the court that have actually granted bail. And when a judge signs that release warrant, you don't have any other choice other than to release. So we were shocked, when Mr. Femi Falana, and I spoke with him, and he said, look, he's still in Abuja. These people have refused and neglected to release. And I was wondering, on what basis?
This is not the first time they have.
Yeah, the first one, we thought, oh, maybe because he was not charged formally. And if I was the judge, that was probably they brought the matter before to handle. After they have failed to obey the first court order, I would have refused to even sit on that matter. But the judge went ahead and look at it now. You have confidence in the judiciary. You charge an accused person before the judiciary. And the judiciary has now made a pronouncement that says this person should be on bail to face his trial. And you are refusing to grant that person bail.
Maybe there are things that the security agencies
they have no reason whatsoever.
No.
They don't have any reason whatsoever.
You remember what the president said?
Yes.
That when it comes to the issues of rights of a citizen and national security, so the debate over what take precedence or what take prominence between both. I mean, the president clearly said is the issue of national security. And we've heard the Attorney General say this over and over again. When it comes to the rights of citizens and national security, issues of national security must come to.
And we're saying it over and over again that it does not lie in the mouth of the executive to actually give such an interpretation, relegating the right of an individual. It's still the judiciary that will look at the argument of the executive and look at the argument of an accused person, and then now says this is overriding. Either the national security overrides the personal interest of an individual. It does not lie in the mouth of somebody now who is the prosecutor. You are the one who is charging an individual to court. You are the prosecutor, and then you now become the judge to say, oh, this one supposed to take precedence. So if you have charged that individual before the court, and the court now has made a pronouncement in favor of that individual, you have no other choice unless you go on appeal. It is only the appellate court that can set aside the ruling that has been made by the lower court. You cannot stay in your house or stay in your office to now interpret or begin to now approve the judgment of the court. That cannot happen in democracy. It can only happen in military.
Let me allow Mr. Buala, who is also a lawyer. Mr. Buala, what are your thoughts on what is happening on issue of Sowore, and perhaps are you concerned about what the National Human Rights Commission, the concerns that they've raised?
Right. In a democracy, the rule of law thrives, and the rule of law thrives through the courts, where orders and judgments are given and if they are given, they are valid and subsisting and must be obeyed unless the order or the judgment is set aside by an appellate court. But I'm also familiar as a legal practitioner in practice. In fact, I've once had an encounter about almost 10 years ago, or a client who was granted bail, but the condition was stringent. He could not fulfill the bail and had been in custody for 1 month. The first time Sowore's case came up when he was granted the bail, the media flare at the time was that the DSS refused to release him, only for us to find out later that it was a condition that was not met. Now, if the conditions have now been met, it is my candid opinion there is no basis for DSS to keep Sowore in custody. But you see, when we don't have the facts, we don't know whether the conditions have been met or not. And if they have been made, then there will be no basis for the law enforcement to keep him there. And if they keep him, the lawyer's representative knows the recourse they have in the same court for the violation of court order. And then the cry of the National Human Rights Executive Secretary is good. But I think we are all of us legal practitioners are indicted in this respect. Today we are talking about Sowore, who is one in almost 200 million Nigerians. What about the Okada rider who was unjustly detained? Who has carried his story? What about the nursing mother who was crushed? Her right was crushed. Nobody has talked about it. The human rights lawyers must take the responsibility of looking at human rights in a broader spectrum and call for the majority of Nigerians.
Mr. Bwala, because I need to allow Mr. Oshutokun to give his comment before we close the program. But under this climate, are you afraid or are you concerned about the manner in which the rule of law has been treated in this country?
I am concerned. I'm concerned, and I gave my opinion in the past. I said it depends on the people advising the government. If you have a wrong person advising, then you see that. But if you have a right person, the government will have no basis not to obey court.
All right, let me get the view of Mr. Oshutokun on this matter before I allow Mr. Obani to give us the final thought. Mr. Oshutokun, your view on the issue of the rule of law, especially as regarding what the National Human Rights Commission said.
Well, there has been a travesty of justice in the country, and of course that is getting normalized. You see, the issue of Sowore, right from the word go, was a travesty. It should not be. It was a very ridiculous and absurd, episode in Nigeria. I don't know why. Well, you see, that should be the priority, or it's a reflection, of how governance has deteriorated in this country. You now find a situation in which different organizations or arms of government start giving their own interpretation of what is as simple as ABC. Coming up with ridiculous qualifications and so on. Yeah. So, look, the National Human Rights Commission actually should have, intervened before now. The man has spent upwards of 100 days or so in unjustified prison. So it is not the Sowore episode is just useful as another manifestation of the travesty that governance have become.
All right, perhaps let's close the program now. Mr. Obani, you have about 30 seconds to give us. You send us to a closing.
I think the president and this government should try as much as possible to get quality advice, especially when it comes to issue of judgment of the court. The moment we destroy the judiciary, the people will lose confidence, and of course they begin to take laws into their hands, and that will not be too healthy for us as a nation. As much as possible, let's begin to respect judgment of the court. That is the only way to go. The world has become a global village, and people are watching, and people are taking history of what is going on in Nigeria. Let's respect court judgment. It's very key. It's very critical.
Thank you so much, Mr. Onyekachi Ubane, former Vice President of the NBA, and Mr. Akin Oshutokun, who has been Skyping with us from Oxford in the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to us. A former political advisor to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and Mr. Daniel Bwala, a lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time on the program. Well, that's our show for today, everyone. I want to thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.